Hi, Scorpio. All right, welcome to this place if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. Okay, so 2023. What an exciting place to be, I see. All right, we're going to look at each month, and I will timestamp below. And if you want to reference this later, I feel like it takes a little bit of extra effort, but it can be very helpful later on, right? There were a lot of euphemisms that sort of were coming when I was sitting praying for you. Like a stitch in time saves 9. I also, there's a decent bed of coals in the stove right now. It is December when I'm recording this, so there was a decent bed of coals, but I went in and like checked on it, sort of shifted it around, added a good log on there so we don't have to like interrupt what we're doing now. It's like a bit of preparation in a way. You know, that'll help give more space for like creativity, you know? Could also see that this year, and we also have a card that's an overall energy, which we'll get into in a second, and then I chose an overall sort of challenge to just be aware of if it happens to pop up. I do feel like you could be doing very well financially also, some of you. Actually, a lot of you could. It's where it's not so hard. It could also be where some of you, whatever your creative talents are, could also be believing in that. And I don't know if any of you like want to do something on the side, or if you want to just try to put some money into some tools that could be helpful. Or again, if you've been needing a kind of resource, I feel like something won't be as difficult as it was that'll come to you. And it's because it's something that you want and you need, which is kind of cool because I don't know if it usually works out exactly that way. You know, usually it's like, oh, someone may need this, but they might not want it, right? Or someone wants something, but they may not need it, right? But this is sort of a combination of that. So maybe these are just good questions to ask. That's what I want to get out of the way there. Okay, so let's look at your overall energy. I don't know why I'm pulling like... Oh, hey, be careful. Oh, the mannequin just moved on its own. It was like, hi, but it didn't fall over. It was really gentle. It's actually in its correct position right now. It's just, it seems a little precarious to me. It's all right. Just a second. Like, I don't mind things balancing, you know, finding the balance point and something being in that space, but I prefer to always have a little bit of a backing because I don't really like loud sounds. They're sort of jarring, right? You know, something falls off the wall or like whatever it is. Oh my goodness, you know what happened too? Oh, your the female ancestor, if you're in your family line, the females. This could be, I see your father's mother, I see your mother's mother. And what's, yeah, look at this, Queen of Cups and the Ace of Swords actually came out. Thank you, mannequin. Thank you, ancestors. What's your overall energy for 2023, Scorpio? Yes. Awesome. Oh, God, you've been working so fucking hard. You have been doing such a good job. Did you know that? I mean, not only from just having the 6 of Wands, the card of luck and success and happy marriage and esteem coming from your coworkers or your employees or just you do at work. It's really beautiful. But not only that, it's like, especially those of you where we've been walking together for a while, and thank you. I know the forest, this terrain, has not always been easy, right? Sometimes it's 5 of Wands. Sometimes it's 9 of Wands. It's like, now it's 6, which is success again. So happy for you. You deserve it. Didn't we talk about that on your birthday? Because really what you put out there, it does come back to you, right? Oh. Well, let's talk about, everyone has a few words. Then we'll get into your challenge. And then we'll go month to month, okay? So your words are cozy house, which I thought was really nice for you. Feeling more comfortable. And house to me is also home, which is your body, which is how you feel. But I also saw this, I saw literally like a vision of like a cozy house. It wasn't some big grandiose, you know, like huge Grecian columns or anything. It was like cozy, you know, warm, lived in, like there was appreciation and like particular placement to things. And so I don't know if you want to make yourself a cozy home or if you're looking for a home. I could see something, you find something really comfortable. Easy, baby. I also saw the word happy, the color, I saw a lot of green, like a lot of plants growing. So I guess the color green, and it's interesting we're wearing it too. The color green could also make you feel happy. You know, maybe it's a color you're getting into, or you have more plants in the house, or something surrounding yourself with. This is also heart chakra energy, right? I would also say that being out in nature will probably bring you happiness. And then you also had another green thing, which are frog legs. I saw frog legs. So that's kind of cool because I know some people eat those. I've never had them. But I would if I was starving and I was near a pond, I guess, or to get them in a swamp. Anyway, frog legs to me is where they were sort of bent, like they could jump. Or they were in the position, yeah, they could jump. It was possible. So maybe, and then I just saw one go lilipad to lilipad. So remember that they have an ability to really, I guess, make some leaps and bounds if you want to this year. Oh, one last thing before we get into your challenge. I also saw like an old like rope, like on a boat, like that kind of rope. And so I don't know if it's like that kind of patterning or if it's like certain knot work, but it was beautiful though, and it was so strong. And it wasn't all tangled up. It was like you could use it. And if you think about this, rope is like probably the most amazing tool we've ever come up with if you think about it, right? It can hold something. It has so many purposes, this really simple thing. And you can make it out of so many things, right? It has a lot of versatility in it. And so I guess you have this as a tool. And then, and then I saw Wonder Woman. I love you, Scorpio. I saw Wonder Woman's like lasso of truth, right? But this is also like in that cowboy sense, like even her, she has that sort of loop. It's just like, that's being able to catch things, you know, having a direction, having an intention, and understanding how that moves, and then bringing it closer to you through your own effort. Okay. Oh my God, I love you, Scorpio. What good energy. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's look at your challenge because you know life's real. Okay, you know what's interesting is I noticed too that the cards, some of the cards were, you know, like you see this moon and this moon, like one's going that way, one's going this way. I only noticed that after I laid them down, and so I figured there were probably some in the reverse, and we're meant to take it that way. So the reverse, you have Empress in reverse for your challenge. So for some of you, this could be about Maybe part of your challenge is to trust yourself where you have untangled that rope, made something beautiful out of something that was painful. And in those kinds of scenarios, which obviously have to do with other people, it's like being able to trust again, right? Trust yourself again. You got to believe in yourself, right? Which therefore means, because if you don't trust other people, then you don't trust yourself, which means people won't trust you, etc., right? I could also see that some of you, I guess, I'm trying to see if it's to avoid the challenge or what the challenge may be, but I guess the message would be, sometimes Empress in reverse can be where a person that doesn't give at times, right? Empress is like, here, have it all. Oh, you want my, oh, you're hungry, have my dinner. You know what I mean? Sometimes she, in reverse, there's an emphasis that you have to know your own value, the value of your time, the value of your body, the value of your money, and get over here right now. Come here. Oh, that means the cat's stealing something. Hold on a second. Sorry, Queenie, I didn't understand. What's she doing? Chill. Give me okay. So something to be aware of. I would also say part of the challenge maybe for some could be health. So you really want to also be aware, but that Six of Wands to me shows good health. But it may be where some of you, maybe you need more exercise, or maybe, I feel like this was talked about, oh, that Jupiter in Aries too is going to be big for you. Really positive. My teeth were hurting too. I know a lot of channel messages, but my teeth were a little bit sore. So just, if you've had a lot, if you take care of them is the point, and if you've had to endure that, then we'll realize that generally there is a resolve for something, right? Okay. Thank you for being patient. We're going to start at 12:45. January. Hold on. Now I got to work my arms. Okay, January. Let me check something. Okay. January, we have Three of Pentacles. Awesome. This is a Capricorn card and a Capricorn time. We will take that right lined up. Awesome. This also connects to all the Earth months. So January, May, September. Be conscious of that kind of, Pentacles are about the physical reality, right? Money, tangible objects, time, etc. Pay attention, work in those months, or you will do really well with work in those months. You could have a lot of focus, right? I suppose there could also be sort of a lot to do. So again, you want to know what you can do. So what does this card show me? Well, it shows me a person that's been practicing a lot, and now they can achieve what they can achieve. Oh, I could see a little bit where someone's a little bit frustrated. They're like, you know, when you feel like someone's looking over your shoulder. It's just like, leave me. Someone's just like, leave me to my work. Leave me to my work. You know, something like that. They're like, don't you want any dinner? Leave me to my work. I'm focusing. So I suppose if there's any interruptions, other people, co-workers, whoever may be, interruptions in whatever it is when you try to focus. Let's see. Well, try to be patient. Okay? But I guess this could also be that boundary thing. right? Boundaries are, you need boundaries. That boundaries come from earth energy. Your opposing energy. Okay. So I see this good for work. I see this could be, again, working towards something. Again, there's a lot of practice. Because of that, something is also being desired, but you want to know your timing a little bit with this, right? I would also say that now for the, for the 3 months past this, February, January to February, February to March, March to April, that's that Jupiter in Aries energy too, which is powerful for you. It's powerful for everyone, but I actually saw it earlier and I'm seeing it again where it's like there's, because remember after this you're going to have Jupiter and Taurus, your opposite energy. And the cool thing about Jupiter is it isn't just necessarily relevant to the house that it's in. It actually like goes towards the other side or like gives to the, or wants to pull the other side. So this is also, again, I guess believing in your talents, okay? It's also understanding how you work better. Do you know what I mean? How you work. Okay. Let's move along. It's going to be a little bit longer of a reading. Sorry, I can't push it necessarily. Remember, this is the year of the Chariot. So sometimes it's going to feel a little fast. Sometimes it's going to feel slow. Sometimes it'll, it might even come to a stop for a second. You get a red light and then you go. You have to let the horses rest, right? Let them drink water. It's also being grounded. Okay, February, Scorpio. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. Wow. More earth energy, so grounded. God, you've been needing that, haven't you? Feel more grounded, feel focused, feel strong. Good. February. So February, again, I guess it's those things. Strong, focused, good posture, it's confidence. This is also someone else. Okay, that's one of those things too. Say, for instance, there's something where like you get distracted or you got a lot going on. There's things, you got to time management a little bit. It reminds me of Aquarius's reading last year. Time management a little bit because that's actually kind of what happens. Those questions we asked in January or what we were talking about in February, it's like someone's like, oh, that's a thing. Okay, I have a resolve for that. There's totally like a resolve for that. Like instead of, for instance, the example of being interrupted or being distracted by something, it's like someone decides, okay, well, if I'm distracted there, I'm going to go here and create myself a space so that I can focus, right? And do what you need to do. I could also say that some of you could have, this is an ability that you have where some of you need a creative space, okay? Whether it be in your home or maybe if it's something where you feel like you have to rent a place or build a place or make a space for this to happen some way, somehow, please, this year. Because again, that 6 of Wands is showing me such great success in whatever it is that you do. Okay? In the physical world, actions you take, physical world. I mean, and it's because I think you finally, this mental, emotional space has now become a little bit more balanced, right? You like flushed out a lot when Pisces and Scorpio were doing that collective dance that I picked up on. And you've been learning a lot from your neighbor Libra, which is really awesome, right? And both of these are actually connected to Venusian energy, which again is so happy for you. Maybe you need to tell that to yourself. Remember, language, words, magic. And I guess there could be, it's more doing than saying, right? Maybe it's one of those things like, do what you say what you do. But proof is more in the pudding, right? And so, again, because some of you could be so in the zone, so in the zone. It's like you're right. This is the chariot flowing. It's like, this is really good energy. And maybe for some of you, it's not about being selfish by not giving to others, because you're still giving. You're still creating a lot. But it's like you're figuring out how to manage your time or energy a bit better, or you have been, which gives you more of this balanced place. Look at this. Temperance and the Justice card. Both speak of great balance. And what is this, Scorpio? You're in the middle. Pretend I'm Scorpio. Here's Libra on one side. Here's Sagittarius on the other side. Left, right. When did we talk about that? Jupiter and Aries. Left, right. Trippy. Okay, now Justice is on the bottom. Awesome. All right, so I guess we'll leave it like that. I feel like we said what we needed to say there. That's a lot going on. Do 21. Good measure for March. Ooh. Ace of Pentacles. Holy smokes. See, your effort brings such reward. But it's like you're making it happen. You know, usually some people just sit around and wait for this Ace of... They won't do anything until this Ace of Pentacles shows up. It's like, no, I'm going to come up with an idea. I've been practicing this. I've been putting energy towards this, trying to fix this. I'm willing to put in the work. I'm focused about it. It matters to me. And it's just like, well, and then I heard it becomes eternity, or like a part of the party. Okay, well, March is awesome. This could also, in addition, be an opportunity, but I guess in addition to that, it is also very much where, if any of you have been, again, working on something, or like really trying to make something a reality, you work through this earth energy, which again is like all the physical doing in this world. You know, objects, money, whatever, like time. You just work in this space, because then all of a sudden it's like, because you're trying to, it's almost like trying to perfect something, but shoot, 1, 2, that's 3 months. That's pretty good. I mean, you've been doing it the last 3 years, hardcore, right? This is also a 12-year cycle. This is a Time Lord energy, right? Hey, get over here. Come on. I'm mad at you, Zumi. It's just that sounds distracting. Okay, well, March, awesome. Again, I don't even... It's looking right over into April. It's like all of these cards are actually like boop, 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 looks right into April. So there's a forward focus. And you really can achieve a lot. And again, if there's any projects or goals you've been working on, it's like there's a gift granted to you that's a physical gift. It's something reality. But this is also something that it's given to you, but it's also something that you are you are giving, or you are able to give or be open to. And so now it's like you let go of something, you start using your hands in different ways, building things some way, somehow. And now it's like, here, maybe forgave yourself. Good. Good. Believe in yourself. Let's see April. April is the mother truckin' chariot. This is Jupiter and Aries. So you do that. Remember, this is a 7 year. You are so in line. You know what? This connects to October. Interesting. So it's like Aries. It's like Aries and Cancer energy mixed together. So I feel. I am. To me, chariot is also our, this is light and shadow. This is our desires and our reasoning. right? That's kind of like what drives us in life. And when those two things are balanced, you rule, I desire, then what happens is wherever you go, you are successful. Because it's never leaning to one way or the other. You know, it has a clear understanding of what it is. I suppose some of you could be going somewhere during this time. Although, you know what? It's either this person just got in the chariot, so it's about to take off, or someone's taking a break now because they've moved along. Because remember, in chariot year, like we mentioned, sometimes it's going to be fast, sometimes it slows down. You know, again, you got to let the horses rest and water, you know, again, put your feet on the ground. But I would sense with all this earth prior, it would be more of, okay, now I'm ready for the next step. Interesting. I do feel like this is a card also of success or of feeling successful, right? To me, there's two, how do I explain this? Well, how do you feel about relationships is also a question, I suppose. Maybe some of you want to live closer to something or move closer again to something. You have the ability to do that now. I did see wings or like feathers or things like that. Maybe this is recognizing something about working with, well, I see the words like bird magic, but it's more like, I guess this is being able to see things from a different perspective. It's being able to be lighter, right? Birds aren't heavy. Their bones are hollow, right? That's why they're able to fly. You know, they understand what they need to be able to ascend to certain places. Okay? They also know they can only fly so long before they have to rest, too, right? Birds also go to bed, just like horses. They go to bed when the sun goes down. So maybe that's a part of it, too. Hey, baby. I love you, Zumi. Yes, I do. Okay. I guess we'll leave it like that. I would look forward, though, because from now until October is a 6-month span. So you just did 3 months. And then it's like, actually, your whole year is kind of set up like that. January, February, March are like a clump. April, May, June, together. It's kind of like, because what is that? Earth, air, and water, right? Then it's fire, earth, and air. Then water, fire, earth, then air, water, fire. Interesting. Okay, so, yeah, you're working in these threes. So again, think about a 6-month process. What do you want it to look like? Where do you want to be? Because this is also like summer to heart, or like spring. It's equinox to equinox, right? It's your, what do you want to grow this year, right? Or how? Do you want to arrive in this new place? Cool. Definitely moving to a new place. Cool. May. 3 of Cups. Happy opposite birthday. Happy opposite birthday. This is so positive. Good. So, May is a wonderful month where if we're going to go in line, if we're going to take this sort of linear or like a spiral path, this also shows me that, okay, you move forward, you get in the vehicle, you move forward. It means that the card coming after is going to kind of indicate what the choices were. This is your first major too. Well, apparently you make the right decision. You're super happy where you are. You feel like you made the right decision. People are just, other people are supportive. You're happy about it. It's a place to gather. It's a place that feels good. It's definitely something to celebrate. Definitely something to celebrate in May. Oh, this is also when Jupiter technically moves into Taurus, so this is actually really good for you. good. You also deserve that. You totally deserve that. I guess Three of Cups to me is a drinking card too. So if any of you do, whatever you indulge in, just make sure you don't go overboard with it. But also remember that you're allowed to have a good time and and unwind, right? You just worked really hard. This could also be congratulations or a celebration, again, of something that people are like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, is what I see. Like, oh really? Oh my God. Like there's a pretty excitable energy here. This also goes back to March, or 3 months ago, February, March time. Maybe this is about what you were working on, what you were trying to perfect. Because whatever it is, do you see how I see this? It's like someone's been, again, they have an idea, and then they put it into action and made it into a reality, and then kept continuing to practice, learned more about time, and then it's like really refining something so beautifully. It's like, wow. Wow. When's the last time you went dancing? Or like had a party? Like when's the last time you hung out with you and 2 other people? You know, kind of like a little trifecta hangout. That could also be really cool. Or whoever your homegirls are, your homeboys. Like it's kind of like a small circle of people. It could also be cool to get together. You'll definitely have a good time. I heard some of you need a DD, but you know what I mean. Okay, we'll leave it like that. Let's see. April, May, June. Hermit. Okay, 31. Hold on. Oh. Just a second. We'll handle that later. That's fine. Okay, Hermit. Hermit for June. So this is Gemini time. Hermit's ruled by Mercury. Okay, he's the first one that's looking back. So if you overdid it in May, you're gonna need to recoup your energy. Okay? I could also see that someone maybe is pointing out, oh, you could be a little grumpy. You could be a little grumpy in June. Okay? A little grumpy, a little judgy. Someone's a little grumpy, a little judgy. Like it's kind of like, why are they happy? You know, or like, how can they be happy? That kind of thing. What's that about? The moon. Remember, I guess in June, the moon is strong. So this is emotional energy. So I would say this would be a time to make sure that you are taking time alone, right? For instance, January, and you'll have people around you regardless, but in the cards themselves, January is like other people. March, February is like you solo. March is you, I guess it's in, out. March is out. April is like an in-between. May is out. June is in. I guess April could be an in energy, but you're really thinking about the future outwardly, right? The future outlook. Hermit is definitely a quiet card. I guess you could be feeling a little bit, someone could be feeling a little bit lonely. Sometimes the Hermit's a little lonely. That's why he gets a little grumpy. It's hard, the spiritual test sometimes, you know what I mean? Or like, it's hard to just see people in ignorant bliss, you know? Because there's the ignorant and there's the seeker. And to be the seeker, one has to understand pain or the deeper parts of it. And I know that this isn't even a conversation that needs to be had, but it also is good to know that your efforts matter in what you have had to face in this life. And so maybe it's also just taking a gander back at, you know, if you want more fun in your life, You want to be a bit lighter. You know, maybe, again, our past sometimes can hang over us or creep up and remind us. And I feel like it's always good to address it when it comes up, because then it's not rug swept and like comes out projecting out into anything. So it's, you know, so you might catch a feeling, or like catch a thought is more like that. I heard that term recently. I liked it. It's like you might catch a thought. And again, if there's judgment, it's just like, be aware of what you're connecting to, and try not to compare yourself to anyone else. Okay? Or you're not alone in this world. Okay? And everyone's on their own path, right? And just because you are really deeply a seeker and experienced in soul work and all this kind of stuff, it's like, remember, you are allowed to have a good time, right? You don't have to constantly be like, whatever you're trying to achieve. I mean, so, and I would probably say hermit to me is like going in and taking some quiet time to think, right? This is mercurial energy. It's like, and I guess maybe you want to remember, if you do get in a funky mood, it's kind of like, or there's situations a little funky, it's like, well, tell yourself some nice things. You know what I mean? Tell yourself what you love about yourself. Tell yourself what you love about your friends. Say they're annoying you, or like, what the try to find the positive in the situation. Okay, that Jupiter and Aries reading, that there's similar messages that are coming through. I know I just recorded it, but yours particularly, I don't remember the readings like after I do them, unless there's something else that triggers me to remember it again. Do you know what I mean? Okay. I'm going to split this up. You're back. You there? Okay. Trippy. I like that we've been splitting it this year. I guess there's an energy about that. So yours is now in July, which is Cancer season. We're halfway through the year. Let's see if this is supposed to be upright or not. Okay. Thanks for being patient. So, we have Eight of Swords in reverse. Awesome. So whatever it was that was causing you to go into your head, or to feel lonely, or to be grumpy, or whatever, it's like or whatever a judgment is, or I don't know, it could even be about whatever. The mind is so complicated. The mind, the moon rules the mind. There's a lot going on in there. You solve it. Okay? It's like you get out of your own way. Something does not bother you, I see, mentally anymore, which is really what it is emotionally, because for some reason or another you finally, and you know what's interesting, you work through that moon mind energy, and then in moon time you sort it out, and you feel solid instead of feeling scared. There's Four of Wands too. Awesome. Happy home, celebration, again, happy. That's a very beautiful card. That's feeling really secure, feeling really confident. Okay, yep, strength card. We'll take that. Okay. This is also being able to see a problem where you couldn't see a problem before, right? Or being able to see something that you couldn't see before. And maybe a part of it was where it goes back into January a little bit, because it mirrors up there. And it's kind of like, maybe you want to think about how, like, what was achieved, because that January, February, March is powerful, and you're so solid there, and so, I mean, the one funky came in with June. It's Gemini energy, which, mind you, is a adjustment to you. Gemini is really hard. That's why sometimes you get stuck in your head and you can't get out because you're fixed. You start thinking about something, and then it doesn't get out of there, you know, and it's just like boop, 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 like pinball inside of your head. You know, you're trying to find the little exit door. It's like maybe for some reason you finally figure out more about how your mind works too, or how to tweak it if it happens to go to places that you don't want it to. You know what I mean? Because you're the only person in control of it. You know, no one can go in there. I mean, God, sometimes I wish I could go into fixed brains and be like my own too. You know, I get it, and just be like, it's okay, just right. You know. So anyway, resolve for a problem, being able to see something really clearly now that maybe you couldn't before. I heard which gives you a new opportunity to actually lock a door. Cool. You actually can lock a door. Maybe there's something where there was like a little room in your head, you know, that was kind of sketchy. Or somebody lived in there. You didn't want to live in, you know, whatever that is, that voice that tells you that you're not worth it, or that you know, that you're not good enough or something. And it's just like, no, fucking lock the door, throw away the fucking key. You know what I mean? Good. Really, really good, Scorpio. Thank you. Let's look at August. So now we have 7 of Swords. Okay. How do I want to see this for August? Oh, Zumi is like going like, oh. Oh, I guess because you just saw something that you couldn't see before, now something, it's like nothing, it can't fool you again. You must have learned something. You can't get fooled. At least with something. You know, sometimes also 7 of Swords can be where it's kind of like, well, this guy does actually look a little bit tricky. Oh, maybe it's one of those kinds of things where, okay, you know how you, like, discover the how do I see this? How do I explain that? Hold on. The facial expression, let me just explain the card. Maybe that's what we need to do, Pisces. You know, this is kind of non-verbal communication. And the way people walk, it's about the way people walk. It's about how they carry things. It's about when they do things. I mean, I guess we all have secrets, right? Like, for instance, there's things that we do when we're alone that we really don't do in front of other people. Do you know what I mean? Or at the very least, there are levels of things that we do that we might do around others, but we're not going to do it fully the way that we would with ourselves, right? Sometimes there's things that technically people do with themselves that they don't do or share with other people, right? I heard this is someone who's deciding to not take any more shit. But it also needs to be something where sometimes you have to tell someone, I'm not, it's like being clear in the communication, not just like ghosting something, right? It's like having the conversation and be like, no. But I suppose if there's something that you've seen, and it would be like, say someone did lie to you or something like that. There was a dishonesty. Or something came to light that was hard to take. It's just like, okay, well, if that's the case, you can't go up to a thief and be like, oh, you're a thief. I know you stole blah, blah, blah. It's just like a liar, a cheater, and a thief are all the same. A liar, a cheater, and a thief. The thief's gonna lie, right? So there's really no point technically in pointing that out exactly, like what the other person did, the other end of it. It's more about just acknowledging being aware of what the truth is, so that you can make more conscientious choices about who you're around, who you share, what you're doing with. Do you know what I mean? Your ideas, your intimate spaces, whatever in your heart. Side note, in August, Venus will be in retrograde. For some of you, we have to mention this. We're talking, there could be somebody from your past that also comes back into the picture, some way, somehow, that wants to, you know, you could see it as something else. So remember that people really don't change. Unless they really, really want to. Right? So I wouldn't necessarily, again, if someone was a liar before, don't expect them to not be a liar now. Or untrustworthy before, don't expect anybody else to be anything but what they have shown you. And maybe a part of it was there was something that was shown that someone didn't want to see, but again, now they can see it, so it's not a big deal. And again, I say you cannot be tricked anymore. This could also be where some of you realize why, for instance, maybe old relationships where you have been lied, cheated, or stolen from, and this caused a level of mistrust in you. Didn't we talk about that earlier? Where you finally are like, I don't know, you realize who you can trust, or, you know, again, you have to trust yourself this year too. Yes. You have to. Okay. One last thing, I would say if you are working on any secret projects of your own, I wouldn't necessarily tell just any old buddy about them, especially in August, right? You want to wait till Venus goes forward because you'll be able to see clearly. Let's actually look at September. 7 of Wands. Okay, super powerful in September. 2 sevens in 77. What's that, 14? So we're talking about temperance. So no one can take what's yours. Like, no one can take your power. And maybe that's kind of what the 7 of Swords was before, is like, no one can tell you what to do. Like, no one can tell you who you are. It doesn't matter what anyone else has ever said about you. It's how you feel about yourself. Sorry, that came out kind of strong with the 7 of Wands. Oh, this could be also where some of you are doing, you are so successful right now. This could be at work. This could just be in your energy. Like, you are so successful right now. You're like, whoa. Like, something could be a lot to handle. You can handle it. Oh, you got to, I saw the words again, time management. I could also see, as a little side note, that it could be where, well, there could be a large amount of responsibility in this time. Your 6th house is really highlighted here. Okay, this is your everyday, day-to-day. This is also the battlefield, right? So, oh, I see you want to balance your energy. Energy, time, money, all the same things. Energy and time are the same things. So if you have any fear of success, or if you have had that where you're like, ooh, I don't, you know, kind of, because you have more esteem this year, you have more confidence this year, which is a really, really good thing. So if there's been any place where you've had a little bit of success to failure, or if you're feeling like that in this moment, then I suppose Spirit is like, don't block your own success. You kind of can't. It's like just there, and you're gonna have to I don't know, handle it. And if something is overwhelming, let's see. I keep cutting to the Lover's card. I feel like you're so focused this year. Because this card's kind of like, leave me be. Like, it's almost like people want to be around you this year, Scorpio. They want you to be, like, in their world. But you're usually sort of, like, want to be in your own world, like Cancer energy. Like, all the water is just like, leave me be. I need some space, right? That's why if you think about water, it's like it always gives itself space. So it could very well be where it's kind of like you got to come out of your shell. You know, and remember that again, I heard, don't worry about being liked or not. You're already accepted. And I just cut again to the Temperance. So now we have 2 angels. 1 on each side of you. Okay, 2 good angels. Look at that. I would also say that I suppose you could be fighting a little bit with, if you have a spouse or other people, in more interpersonal ways. If there's a little bickering there, how do we solve that? Strength. Well, to me, this card represents grace. So be graceful, right? Try not to get too riled up about somebody else's stuff either, okay? Or worry about your success, because again, there's so much of it that it may be something that you're just like, you know, I guess it could mean that you are successful right now, but if there's anything that feels unsuccessful or frictional and frustrating, check in with more of, if you've given yourself some time, remember what you just processed. You just saw something so clearly, you know, figured out a great puzzle in your head, right? Which now makes you stronger in your action. It's like trusting yourself to know what you need to do and when you need to do it. And not letting anyone stop your success either, or your ability to feel strong. Not that you have to feel strong all the time, but right now you are, so do it, right? It's kind of like when you got the energy to do it, do it. When you don't, rest, right? That was another euphemism with the rope was, you know, when the fishermen can't fish, they mend the nets, right? Okay. Let's look at October. 3 of Wands. Okay. So remember, the Chariot was looking down here. This is your Chariot and Hermit are your 2 majors. So you want to look to the beginning of the year. Okay, now we're at like, this is technically 10, but if we go forward in months, this is 9 months, right? So look at what you have created, and I want you to look forward to like a 3-year goal, okay? Or at very least, look how far you have come. You have 3 3s on the board, cool. And the Empress is here too, rad, and 2 7s. Technically 3 7s if we take this 8 in reverse. Okay, so what is 3 of Wands about in October? 3 of Wands is about having both feet on the ground. This is a person with both feet on the ground. They're not afraid. They have a backup plan. They're holding their power. Oh, you also went from the 7 to the 3, which also goes to show that you're feeling whatever that was, you do end up being successful, and has to do with something with home. Or like, because 3 of Wands is pretty zen, right? Again, they, whatever, if there was any stress, it's gone now, okay? It's calm now. So I see, don't forget to pray when, right, if we look at that Empress in reverse as the High Priestess is quiet. The Hermit is also quiet. And I would say when the Chariot is driving, the Chariot is probably quiet and paying attention to where it's going. So that's also going to help you, right? Oh yeah, because it keeps going here. June again was in. July is like an out, but it's like a, you get something out of your head. And then that's July. And then August is in. September is out. October is in. Hi, baby. So again, this person is really, they're, oh, you reach your destination. Or it comes to you. Remember that lasso we were talking about? You put it out there, right? You have the rope, you realize what it is, you already untangled it, you made it into something else. Now you can use it as a tool. You can even undo that and then hang something up if you need to. It's a very versatile, you have a lot of versatility this year in the tools that you have gained. And so it's almost like that lasso, whatever it was, you got a hold of it, and what it actually did was give you a line to be able to follow so that you don't get off the track, right? Just like your December reading, don't get off the path, right? You're on the path, you're meant to stay on the path. I mean, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's nighttime, sometimes it's during the day. It's cool. But actually, you know what? There's no nighttime cards here thus far, which is awesome. So you're not living in the shadow this year. Again, you got to be in the light, Scorpio. That might be a part of it that's a little bit uncomfortable. But this is why you got to also know what you need in ways of your time. And again, I see the words time management. Maybe that's Aquarius's reading for last year. This is a square to you. Could actually be helpful. Okay? It's called Big Kahuna, Color Theory, time management, something else. So you arrive at your destination. I keep splitting this strength card too. It's so awesome. This is having faith in your heart, right? It's knowing like that your prior efforts really matter to soothe your own beast. You know what I mean? At least partially understand more about how to tame it, because again, no one can tame you. No one can tame you or Leo specifically. We all have this in our map. But no one can tame those two. You guys are feral. Feral, freaking feral. So feral. And then also to be gentle with that. This is patient. October has patience in it. It has hope in it. Faith in it. Again, there's a backup plan. There's extra over here. They're holding their power in their hand, and they're thinking completely differently about what the possibilities really are. Good. It's a wonderful outlook. I would definitely look back to January and then also May, right? Those are very positive months for you also. So maybe you want to think about those. I could also say the last 3 fires ago. So what is that? No, where is it? Oh, Aries. So I guess this is also having a new outlook on who you are. Good. With confidence too, but it's not like this, you know, like a 7 of Wands, like trying to prove it or anything. It's just like, wow. You're allowed to have, right? Didn't we talk about that? I heard you're almost there. Okay. November. Let's see November. Knight of Wands. Wow. So more fire. Okay, so you had 3 earth, January, February, March. Then you kind of had 3 air, June, July, August. Then you have 3 fire, September, October, November, thus far. Trippy. Okay. Well, you feeling like a champion. Knight of Wands says no fear. You're not sitting around waiting for anything anymore. It's like you're taking up such strong action about it. But it's not... I mean, I guess this card's a little impulsive, but I feel like you can... It's kind of a little bit of an intense card, but you just got to be able to handle it. It has to do with Sagittarius and Libra, again, those balance. I guess this is also justice and temperance. Let's see an extra card on that. Good girl. King of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, this mirrors Taurus energy, right? Your opposing month. It's almost like where someone thought that something couldn't happen, and it did. You know, it's almost like... Because you know what? How do I explain that? Well, I guess you could be a little bit... Someone could be a little bit impatient here, but it's more excitable energy. You want to keep the peace. I see that. You want to keep the peace. I suppose some of you could be tired of waiting for something, so you're just going to go do it. Just watch your impulsivity, I guess, because, again, you just had 3 fires in a row, right? So you want to remember that all actions create reality. And I guess anything that's like too fast usually is a little shaky. It has fear in it. When something's fast, there's a little bit of fear in it. So remember also to be gentle. You may really surprise... Someone's surprised by someone's action a little bit. So maybe you just want to think about if you're about to jump, right, into anything too quick, whatever it may be. Because I know you just had... Because, again, October was in. Now, November, out. Knight of Wands. It's like, whew, I'm ready to go. Again, let's just describe... Let me tell you what I see. I see a person, again, that's confident. They've done this before. They know how to handle it. The only thing that concerns me, I guess, a little bit is the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and the Seven of Swords all look towards the past in a way. So this could also be where some of you this year are meant to think about a little bit about impulsivity in relation to sexuality, or who you involve yourself with sexually, who you involve yourself with energetically. But it's more like the Hermit to me is like you've already sat with, and even if it's not sexual, it's just energy. Again, it's like I feel like you've already thought about this. You know, I know a lot of you have chosen to be celibate even over these past, you know, however many years. There's been chunks where you've practiced, which is really good for Scorpio. You don't never want to be in lustful energy, right? Or like too much desire that it loses, again, its reasoning, right? So, and we pretend that we can't see something when it's right in front of us, right? Lie to ourselves. And then get mad that somebody else lied to us. It's like, come on, no, we didn't want to see it. But that's more, again, in the past energy. So I guess June, August, and November are also times, let's see, June, August, November are also times where it could be possible that you would repeat something, a lesson that you've already learned, or you will be tested about a lesson that you have put a lot of thought into and have been practicing the action of doing it right. Does that make sense? So just be aware of that and recognize that you are, because of, again, you know what? People that have lied to us, things that have been scary or whatever that you've had to endure, it's because now you are more honest with yourself. Now you are stronger because you've had to endure that. It's taught, you know, again, the life of the ignorant, you know, people just getting drunk all day long, like not, you know, la-di-da. It's like, no, there's such a difference between the ignorant and the seeker. And you are the seeker, whether you want to be or not. You know what I mean? And so I can understand that, like, you know what, your soul already knows exactly what's right and wrong, but sometimes we, like, trick ourselves to be like, well, the human, what's the point of being the human if we didn't make mistakes? But the thing is the mistakes that have been made don't have to be made again. You can succeed in this life, and it can be soft and sweet. I feel like we've talked about this before. Like, you can have this, think about the opposite of you. Not that you're not soft and sweet, because you are so sweet and so gentle. But the other side, that again, the opposite zodiac is Taurus, which is like moss. You know what I mean? It's like feather pillows and cozy blankets and gentle touch, and it's really intimate because it's slow, right? And that's really probably what you want. Not that you don't enjoy the intensity, and you can have that, but you know what I'm saying? Could also be very creative at this time. That inner energy of October also helps you, that vantage point again, and that patience and all of this. It actually helps you to feel safe so that you can feel strong and come out of the gates. Like, that's also another horsey here. So you have two horses in relation to this chariot year. So this is also, I guess by this point in November, you've also taken your reason and your desire, these two horses, and you have combined them, and now you ride with that energy. It's like you can control it, you know? I mean, there's still a little practice because it's a knight, but, you know, the king doesn't have a horse, the knight does, so fabulous. All right, last but not least, December. 5 of Wands, so we have more fire. So, again, September, October, November, December, all fire. So you kind of get your zip. Like, you already have focus and you have security, but it's like, I feel like the beginning of the year is like just riding. It's maybe you're not even on the horse yet. You're just walking with your horse, or you stop. You know, you do what you can while it's resting in the pasture. Then you get in and you go. And there's some stop and go there. But then once you get into October, November, this fire is going to be more again where the chariot starts moving faster. But there's still stop and go, so you're going to have to adjust probably a little bit quicker than, I don't know if it's maybe the way a little bit quicker than you want to, or at very least it will test you some. But remember, you're ruled by fire, you're ruled by Mars, and you can do it. Okay, you just got to make sure, again, you go in on the months we talked about. We'll start it again so you can pay attention. January is an out, February is an in. You can go, it goes that way all the way through the year, month to month, in, you know, out, in, etc. December, even though you have 5 of Wands, you want to make sure that you go in. This would also be not getting involved in drama. 5 of Wands sometimes is a struggle, but you know what? This shows me more of a person that's able to handle something. They're not allowing the energy that's around them that's frictional to interrupt whatever it is that they're doing, even if the energy is like tight. Okay? Like, you can find your way out of something if there is a problem. You just have to kind of like maneuver. It's sort of like walking in New York City. Do you know what I mean? You got to learn how to like move and when to pick up the pace and when to kind of slow down and go around grandma so that you're not rude, you know, make it seem like you're trying to, whatever, and then in between the two people and not get hit on the head with the umbrella. You can do it, though. You can do it. Yes, you can. And I would also say that if any of you are creative people too, like, or however, rather, you are creative, remember that your flow of creation could be a part of this too, where like, there's times, again, where you're really zen and you're really into it, and then you got to go in and replenish that energy, then come out and use it, then go in and replenish, and etc. Okay? There's no way that we can have 100% flow of any kind of energy, and even when there are long lags of it, there's going to be, if you want to push it, there's still going to be times where you have to come in and center, right? Because again, when we're giving, it's an outward energy. When this is emotion, it's a masculine. When we are still, we are receiving, which is the feminine. And if you are needing anything to be of service to you, I could see that you have help with that. I wouldn't get involved in any work drama. I would not compare yourself to anyone else. I suppose you could be, some of you could be fighting with your children, or there could be some kind of thing with that. If you don't have kids, I guess this could be like inner child frustrations or disagreements with family. But really, remember what we said before, this mirrors back into July, where it's like, well, what did we talk about? People are who they are. Do you know what I mean? And, yep, Taurus, opposite energy. It's like fixed energy is who exactly it is. You cannot convince any fixed energy to ever change their mind. You know, like mutable energy, cardinal energy, they're open to it. You know, they can be swayed, or they can be convinced, or they whatever they want to hear. Libra, for instance, will be like, wait, you think I can improve like that? Oh, or you really feel that way? Well, why do you feel that way? And they'd want to talk about it, and then actually, if you can make a good argument, they'll be like, okay, well, hey, I actually agree with that. I could change that about myself. Yeah. So maybe that's a little bit of a part of it. Ooh, there's the High Priestess. Maybe there is a little bit of a part of that where it's like just acknowledging, like, okay, well, nothing's ever perfect. And if there are any problems, maybe it's something where you do approach it, but I wouldn't put yourself in the middle of anything that's dangerous or that's just like, how do I explain that, Scorpio? I just wouldn't get involved in the drama, okay? No. Okay. And don't get mad at yourself again if you ever have a creative block, or again, there's not like a lot of inspiration for something. Remember, it is a flow. Right? All fire needs to be stoked and tended. I actually do see a lot of you. Look at that. I do see a lot of you. 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Wands. This is all Taurus energy too. King of Pentacles. All this here is like really powerful, good energy towards work. Or money, success in that kind of way. That kind of abundance. You are also allowed. God does not deny. I can't speak technically for God, but from what people say and what I have read, there's nothing that expresses that we are not allowed to have in this life, or even to be abundant. It's about how we feel about what we have and what we do with what we have. Okay. You're right. The soul doesn't need anything, but the human does. You know, physically. The human does. And it teaches the soul things, right? Objects teach us. Like, for instance, a friend of mine gave me these when he went to Tibet one time with his wife. And I don't need these bells. Or maybe I do. I have them right now, so perhaps I do. And I know when I see them, I know I can feel where they come from. And I recognize the time and distance that it took for those to get here, the story, and the story attached to it. And do we mention the time that's put into something, you know? So maybe that's also a part of appreciating. I don't know, this could be part of your, you know, we said this a long time ago in a different Scorpio reading, but remember, you have ancestors that you didn't even meet that, you know, I'm sure that you have family stuff that's hard. I get it. But you also have so many people in your life that are literally physically here and also in your ancestral realm, in the spirit realm, that love you and support you. Some of them are men, some of them are women, some of them are old, some of them are young, some of them are your age. Okay, if you want to look at it kind of that way. So please never forget that, especially if you are ever doubting yourself in any kind of way, okay? Or don't understand why you're here. It's like, well, you know, if we think about it, like, our ancestors definitely had it harder than we do. You know, if we had to gather every bit of water and food and make our own shelter and, like, all of it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. I mean, it was simpler in certain ways, but it was also harder. And now we have it easier and it's equally harder. You know, it's a different kind of hard. So, in essence, I guess what we're trying to find is the softness in the appreciation for time. And remember, too, that you rule objects, especially like bones or stones or what have you, jewelry and things like that. You want to make sure you clean those also. Okay. Yeah. And remember, again, if you're, well, just remember your creative endeavors could also, yes, be something that gives you a kind of security. Don't doubt the skills, the talents that God has given you, the family that God has given you, whatever, your face, you know. You're just as worthy as anybody else. And you're different. That's the cool thing about it. You know, you could do the same thing as somebody else, whatever that thing is, you're different. And that's what makes it special, because you put your fucking soul into it. I didn't mean to curse. You put your soul into what you do, your heart into what you do. Therefore, it feels different, right? Oh, Scorpio. Oh my God, the Magician and the Strength card. Yes. What a good year for you. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I will say the latter part of the year is a little bit, there's a lot of fire and air, the second half of the year. So that's also where you want to be, steady yourself really in the beginning so that you're solid. Or it also shows me that you are, that is that, and that also you are solid throughout the year, and that second half is really more of examples or lessons of, again, interacting with other people, or like how your energy works in this air. It's almost like the first half of the year is feminine, the second half of the year is masculine, being the focus, and then the opposite of that would be the undercurrent. Whew, okay. I love you, Scorpio. I hope this was of service. Thank you so much for being a part of this life. Thank you for a wonderful 2022. I'm wishing you the best. 2023. I really feel like it will be good for you. That latter half of the year, I really think is strong. And just remember all the training that you have done, you know, that you are perfectly capable of doing what you need to do. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Powerful. This is also like not needing to prove anything to anybody. You just know it in yourself now. Which gives you the ability to soften. It gives you the ability to be more childlike even. You know what I mean? Not so 5,000 years old. It's like you get to be, I don't know, 5 if you want to. You know, or again, that bridge back to these places where you were strong and I mean, not that you're not now, but just that strength that was, remember, there's that place in you that's pure and it will always be pure. And I guess you're just tapping into that well, the well of purity. I love you so much. Okay. Have the best year. I'll talk to you later.